And time to sit back, grab some popcorn, possibly a Coca-Cola, and conversation time with Steve and Isaac. This week, what are we discussing?
Well, Diamond, we're talking about a couple things within the competitive division. We're talking about who your midseason favorite is for Rookie of the Year, best newcomer, and then also who the midseason favorite is for MVP. Which, as always, we encourage everyone to get on the network, submit your opinions. We'll start threads.
Yeah.
And
we won't. Someone will.
Someone will. Yeah, maybe Wizard.
I like that.
Anyway, Diamond, let's give our 2 cents worth.
Yeah.
Let's start let's get the proverbial ball rolling. Talk about Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year, in my mind, is going to be Dan Wheeler. Now, I know a lot of people would say, well, he's more of an MVP type player, but when I speak about the Flight of the Conchords, it's always team ball, right? So I don't think you can single them out as the most valuable player. I think they're the most valuable team, quite frankly.
Sure.
So, I really turn to Dan Wheeler as Rookie of the Year, though, because his stats prove it.
Yeah, I can't totally disagree there, Diamond. I think he may shoulder the scoring load, which is I think what they need on that team. But my Rookie of the Year, kind of coming out of left field, I think Ben Burrell is making a strong consideration.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, it's a bit of an obscure choice.
Wow.
I may get grilled on the network for it, but I'll tell you why. The Celtics got a lot of potential talent with guys like Papa Giorgio.
Agreed.
And but teams have figured out some defensive schemes to slow him down a little bit. And Celtics admittedly have no size whatsoever. Mm-hmm. How do they counter that? Ben Burrell is asked to guard the biggest, strongest guy on every other opposing team, and he does it quietly, he does it unassumingly, and he still manages to get 10 or 12 points a night and tear down 10 boards.
That's an interesting choice. I'm not going to disagree with you either, but I'm not going to agree with you.
You know what he's like? He's like the Paul Millsap of the Utah Jazz last year.
Ooh, I like that.
Just like that.
Good comparison.
Quiet, early, solid. A guy that brings kind of like a intangible factor to his team.
Okay, interesting. On to what really matters. Not that the Rookie of the Year doesn't matter, but MVP. In my mind, the MVP candidate goes to, drum roll please, Mike Burns, the Warriors. Because Mike Burns was held last week to less than 10 shots. The guy usually rips off 18 to 20. And when you can get around him and stop him, you see how valuable he is to this team because they just weren't the same team. It's like the cylinders broke down. The car wasn't driving. I can't drive 55.
You know why I play that drum roll? Because it's a joke. That's what you play after a joke. You can't say Burns is the MVP. Great player. I won't discount that. But Diamond, you can't call a guy an MVP based on a non-performance in a game.
I disagree.
MVPs are there every game, putting up the numbers that everyone can count on. I love Burns. I love his game, but he's not an MVP
In my mind,
player.
you take the player away, and that proves their value. So you need to see them out of their element to see how valuable they are.
So you're telling me if some guy goes down with an injury the rest of the way, we hand him the MVP
No, we don't,
trophy?
because he's injured, so he can't play.
So
Burns is
playing it
back
effectively is just as important as being injured.
I think that Burns will come back this week, and I guarantee he's going to throw down 30 to 20. Guarantee it.
Well, I'd like to see it. I'd like Burns to come out and make me eat crow. Go ahead, Burns. Go ahead and do it. Prove it. Anyway, I'm gonna borrow from what you said earlier. My MVP candidate, Dan Wheeler. Rookie of the Year in your mind, MVP, maybe both. He's a strong contender for both. I'll tell you why. Because like I said and like I alluded to earlier, that Conchords team moves the ball, but when they need a basket, and when we come playoff time, you're going to need that guy down the stretch that needs to score a basket in those final minutes. Who are they going to look to? They're going to look to Dan Wheeler.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm going to agree that these are two, in my mind, really valuable candidates. So, at last, we agree.
Yeah, welcome to the agreement circle.
Feels good.
It feels right.
Awkward. Yeah.
Right or awkward, depending on how you look at it. Anyway, that's it for the mid-season competitive division forecast.
Get online, tell us what you think.
Absolutely.
Well, the saddest part of the show, it's time for us to go.
Yeah, it always is the saddest part. I wish we could be here all day.
I know, and it's fun every week. And thanks for your allegiance to the show. This is the 5th episode already. Really, it seemed to happen overnight. We're over 400 users on the network right now, continuing to build. I wouldn't be surprised if we see 500 next week. A lot of that, Isaac, I think is being driven by the All-Star voting.
Absolutely, Diamond. And I want to congratulate you on your online Emmy nomination.
Well, thank you.
It's a big career accomplishment. I'm going to be pulling for you. In fact, I might vote for you online. Cast my ballot.
Speaking of voting online, we're going to wrap it up, Isaac. Vote for your favorite players online because All-Star voting for the Rec Division is wrapping up as we speak.
That's
we're
right.
moving on to the top flight. So other than that, Isaac, what do you think?
Until we see you on the court,
we'll see you online at uhnetwork.com.
Take us home, Lionel.